Let the record show that 4 of 7 council members are present. Minutes for the February 2nd regular and committee of the whole meetings were distributed. Are there any corrections? Okay, seeing none, minutes will stand as approved. We are now under committee reports. The Finance Committee, Councilmember Reesner.
No report, Mr. President.
Anyone from Law and Community Planning?
No report at this time.
Thank you. Materials and Equipment, Councilmember Jones.
No report, Mr. President.
Personnel and Labor Relations Committee has no report this evening. Recreation and Public Property, Councilmember Snee.
No report at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Streets, Sidewalks, and Sewers, Councilmember Snee.
Yes, Mr. President, I have a report.
Thank you.
Okay. A meeting was held in city chambers on February 9th, 2026. The purpose of this meeting was to discuss mayor's request for legislation 2610 regarding ODOT consent legislation. Attending were committee members John Hayes, Scott Hardeman, Dennis Snee, Aaron Jones, and Kevin Reesner. Also attending were Mayor Lee Wilkinson, Law Director Zachary Fowler, City Administrator Nick Dutro, City Engineer Matt Watson, and Council Member Ashley Decker. Councilman Hayes called the meeting to order at 5:16 p.m. Watson explained the ODOT planning to resurface US 224 from Hancock County line to State Route 18. A small portion of the work is within the city limits. ODOT is requesting consent from the city to perform work on that portion. There will be no cost to the city for the project. Reesner motioned to have the law director draft legislation providing consent to ODOT to perform work within the city. Jones second, and the motion passed 5-0. With no other business, the meeting was adjourned at 5:22 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions on that report? Okay. Economic Development and Downtown Planning, Councilmember Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development and Downtown Planning Committee meeting was held on February 9th, 2026 in council chambers. Attending were council members Scott Horniman, Aaron Jones, Ashley Decker. Also in attendance were Mayor Lee Wilkinson, City Administrator Nick Dutro, Law Director Zachary Fowler, Council Member Reesner, Council Member Hayes, and Council Member Snee. Also in attendance was Adam Gilmore with the Seneca County Collaborative. The meeting was called to order at 5:24. The purpose of this meeting was to discuss Mayor's request for legislation 2607, an application to NOPEC Energy Community Grant, and Mayor's request 2608, expansion of the Community Reinvestment Area Number 4, also known as CR4, and any other business that came before the committee. The first topic discussed was Mayor's request 2607, which is the application to the NOPEC. We've been a part of NOPEC since 2014. NOPEC was voted upon by the voters, and it gives back to its members, providing grants. Every year, the city uses this grant money for energy-efficient projects, for example, City Hall windows and roof repairs. This year's money could potentially go to the replacement of the overhead garage doors for the Tiffin Fire Department. Councilmember Jones made a motion to have the law director draft legislation. Councilmember Decker seconded the motion. Dutro confirmed that a suspension of emergency should be added to legislation. Councilmember Snee reminded the committee that these funds were used last year to replace the community swimming pool's pump on the slide. The motion carried 3-0. Next was discussed Mayor's request for legislation 2608, expansion of the Community Reinvestment Area Number 4, going forward CR4. With Adam Gilmore in attendance. Adam talked about a possible senior housing project in CR4, which is 1994 community reinvestment was the last time this took place. Expanding CR4 would incentivize this project by providing tax abatements. He reported that this project is finalizing its financing, which involves government grants as well. Councilmember Jones asked Gilmore what the project would be for. Gilmore answered it would be for assisted living for Medicare recipients 65 and older. Jones then asked how many employees would the facility need. Gilmore said approximately 30 to 40. This is a will be an assisted living facility. Where am I at? Councilmember Jones made a motion for the law director draft legislation. Councilmember Decker seconded the motion. Jones thanked Gilmore and added that whenever there is development in jobs, there is never anything negative about that. The motion passed 3-0. And with no other business, the meeting adjourned at 5:47 p.m. That is my report.
Thank you. Any questions on that report? Okay. Does anyone see the need to schedule a committee of the whole? Okay, thank you. We are now under reports of the officers. His Honor, Mayor Lee Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have an announcement for anyone who's going to be traveling in and around Tiffin for the next couple of weeks. You notice that the sewer work has already begun. They were on Perry Street today. Starting next Monday, I hope everyone's heard about this, the Market Street is going to be torn up between Monroe and Washington. The sewer is right down the middle of the street, so there will be no traffic or parking in that block. And there will be detours up Monroe and help me out here. I just had a blank. Up Monroe and Madison all the way to Jefferson. Thank you very much. See, I thought you would help me out there with that a little bit.
Start naming presidents.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. And that should just take a week if everything goes as planned. And then the following week, they will take the construction to the next block, which will be between Washington and Jefferson. And hopefully that will just take a week. So patience is going to be required when traveling into the downtown area. Okay, so the next I would like to introduce Catherine Rosa, our representative from Columbia Gas, to give us an update on the work that they're going to be doing in and around the city.
Hello, hi everybody. Thank you for having me. And I'm very excited to be here. This is actually my first time in Tiffin, so it was like lovely welcome. All right, is that a little bit better? Oh yes, I can hear myself a little bit better now. So, yeah, but no, thank you again for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Actually, very coincidental timing. The information mailers that I have in front of everybody, those were mailed out to residents today. So I have been receiving some phone calls and text messages. So perfect timing. This is great. Yeah, so I have a little bit of a presentation just about the Noble Street AMRP project that we're doing in the area, which will be taking place in March. Yeah, so the Noble Street AMRP project will retire old infrastructure and just thereby strengthening the local natural gas delivery system in the area. And as you can see on the map, it's going to be the northern half of town, north of the railroad. So these are all the streets that are going to be implemented on this project, and so residents that are along this project have already been notified. They've received the information mailer today, as I said, and they will also receive a customer letter, which is the one-pager that you have out in front of you. So they will be having that as like a door stopper when crews are starting to go around to do staking and flagging for marking of utilities. So they will be aware, and then if anybody approaches them on the road, they will also receive this flyer if they did not so already. So our contractor, Miller Pipeline, will be doing this project, and all crews, Columbia Gas and Miller Pipeline, will have photo identification with their name and their company. Our vehicles will also have Columbia Gas and Miller Pipeline logos, so if anybody wants to verify, they will have their photo identification on them to verify that. So as I mentioned before, we're going to be doing a little bit of pre-construction, which consists of 811 staking and flagging of utilities. We will be doing, and surveying, we'll be doing some sewer camera work, water camera work. That's like our main thing. And again, we will be doing the right-of-way, which was also verified with the city previously. And then with the utilities, we'll be doing all utilities that may be in that right of way as well. So we get a lot of folks that have questions about, oh, is this where you guys are working? And it's not where we're working. It's just the marking of the existing utilities that will be in the immediate area. Yeah, so there's a lot of benefits to the work that we'll be doing. So we're going to be replacing the old infrastructure, which is usually steel or wrought iron pipe, and we're going to be replacing it with plastic, state-of-the-art plastic pipe that is expected to last over 100 plus years. So this will not have to be replaced in any of our lifetimes, and we will make sure that everything is installed as like the best that we can in the areas that like are affected by the project. And once we get the main line installed, we're then also going to have service lines of also plastic pipe to everybody's house. Residents will also, if they have indoor meters, they'll also have their indoor meters moved outside, and they'll just have it outside, and it'll just be much easier for them as a homeowner and the lifespan of the house. And yeah, thanks. Next, please. So there's different kinds of mainline installations that we do. Most of the time on the right-hand side, you can see we do directional underground bore. That is where we will do most of our work. We like to keep it underground. If we can keep it underground, we will. There are certain areas where we would have to do open cut. Now, and the engineering plans that are attached, that are down at your desks, that's like the whole 15 pages outlining, this is where like tie-ins will happen. This is where like open cuts. I don't believe there's many open cuts. It maybe if at all. This project, don't quote me on it. I'm not an engineer, but I do know that sometimes there has to be open cuts just based on like hooking everything up. But that should be all in there. And again, if you have any engineering questions, I can get you in touch with our engineer, John, as well. But this is pretty much the process of what we do for our mainline installation. This is the longest part of the project, so this is where, residents may see us out and about a little bit more. The service line installations going to the houses, much faster, much easier, because you're not going long stretches of road. You're maybe going across the road or underneath the road. So this is the longest portion. This is where people will see us out the most. So as I mentioned, for our service line installations and moving meters, this is the quickest part of our process. Again, we'll try to do underground directional bore, especially if we're going under the road. We're going to do that as much as possible. The only time we would ever, in the very rare instance that we would have to have an open cut, is if we were trying to resolve a leak of some kind. But because there's not really a history of leakage in this area, that doesn't seem like that's much of a concern. So we will spend about 2 to 4 hours per home doing a service line and replacement. So that consists of going in the home, turning off the gas appliances, and then getting the main line and the service line connected, and then coming back home for a relight of services, and then the moving of the meter if that is required. So just 2 to 4 hours. Crews will make appointments with residents themselves by knocking on the door or leaving a door tag, and they will have a schedule. They will schedule on a mutually agreed time. So this will be further along in the process. I get a lot of folks that have questions. They're like, oh, when do you do the service line appointment? Can I make that service appointment now? And it's like, so all of the main line has to be installed before the service line can be hooked up, because otherwise there's nothing to hook it up to. So we want to make sure that we're putting you on the brand new service line or this brand new main line. So I'm going to make sure we got some place for you to go. All right. Yeah, so relays and reconnections. So we will relay every single gas appliance that's within the home. Again, we'll make sure that everything is safe. We double, triple check everything. And if in the very rare instance that something is red tagged, we walk through with the customer how to go about that, to making sure that their appliance is working again. Red tag basically means that an appliance has just reached the end of its useful lifespan, or something else happened that is beyond our repair, so that customer would then have to get a general contractor, HVAC contractor, whatever, plumber, whatever they would like to choose. Again, that's a pretty rare instance. Those I usually see far and few in between for those. So throughout the project, I get a lot of folks that ask this question as well, especially as we're getting into warmer weather, is restoration. So throughout the project, we're going to be doing temporary restoration, where we will be doing soft patching and temporary patching, filling in with gravel, dirt, and also some soft grass. This does not look pretty. I apologize in advance to all the residents of Tiffin. I know it doesn't look pretty, and I am very sorry for that in advance. It's all temporary. That is in the event if we do need to go back in, we do need to fix something. It is a lot less labor intensive and less material extensive if we do temporary patching. And so it's just temporary. So, and it's not going to be like this forever, but it will look like this for a period of time. And at the end of the project, we're going to go back through and do permanent restoration, which is at the end of the project, pretty much when we do majority of the service line replacement. So say 2 streets have been done for some time. Our permanent restoration crews are going to follow pretty closely with our service line crews to go back through the area and do some beautiful restoration. So we'll make sure that, everything is grade and level to the yards and to the city standards of like your sidewalks and your roads and everything. I know we've talked about that previous with like the city permits, all of that kind of whole process. So we can go back through, when the time comes, we'll re-follow up to be like, okay, like we'll make sure that this is the right grade, right level of what it needs to be. This is the right materials that need to be used. So we'll go back through with some soil, some grass seed, because this project is starting in March, this would be a summer restoration. I do know that for last year with the drought, sometimes grass seed does not hold as well when there's not so much water. So, if there was like anything of extreme heat or anything, we would be able to come back out and make those patches as we need. But yeah, we'll just do concrete and asphalt followed by a soft surface of like the grass seed soil, topsoil, all that kind of stuff. And like, obviously if there's like any resident that calls and they're like, hey, like if they lose my contact information or anything, and you're just like, hey, Katie, there's, so-and-so on 123 Smith Street wants this checked out. Can you like get somebody out there to just let us know? We'll be happy to have somebody, the coordinator or somebody to go check it out, see if there's anything we can do. But yeah, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so this is my contact information. You all have it on the customer letter, but if you want to see it up here, this is my information. All the residents have my information on the information mailer. And we also have email updates that go out weekly, bi-weekly, kind of just depends on how many projects I'm doing and like how often I get updates from coordinators. So I try to do those on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. And then we also have texting. We're trying out a new thing where we could do group texting. I have one person signed up so far, which is really nice. Across all the projects, I just have a couple of people. So if texting is your way to go, I will do the best that I can, and I'll send you updates that way. But otherwise, everybody will get it via emails. And yeah, I will take any questions that you all may have about the Nova Street project. Mayor Wilkins.
I do have a question. You said that the whole project's going to begin in March sometime. Do you know about
Yeah, it's going to be like the early mid-March. Don't know exactly where it's going to be starting just because it is a little bit early to determine that. But our engineer was like, ask me a couple weeks and you can definitely get a better idea of the exact date. We'll also be sending, I was like, Mayor Wilkinson and Nick, I'm sure council, if you're interested, I can make sure this is also you included as well. We'll send weekly updates to you guys specifically for just like where we're at in the project. So you'll be receiving those from myself or Ben Cutler on a weekly basis with like our coordinator and like the engineering team. So you'll get those. Yeah.
And is there a projected ending?
About like 4 to 5 months. It really just depends on how well Ohio winter weather wants to cooperate with us in the beginning. So 4 to 5 months. It's also in the information mailers, the projected timeline. Yeah, 4 to 5 months start to finish. That is like first day of installation to like permanent restoration. So that's not just installation time, that is installation through permanent restoration. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good question, yeah. Is it reasonable to think, they're on my street today and they'll be done in a week, 2 weeks? I know the
Yes.
project has that many months, but you're on a lot of streets here.
Yes, it's a little noisy for a couple days. I would say mainline installation, say you're at 123 Smith Street, it's probably be like a busy 2 to 3 days for mainline installation, but then they're probably going to be like 10 houses down the block from you. So it's going to be just a little bit noisy. We don't start before 8 a.m. They don't want to wake anybody up. They're not going to wake anybody up unnecessarily. So, so it'll just be a busy 2 to 3 days. And then obviously when we do service line appointments, that is with the homeowner specifically. So they'll choose when that happens. They'll coordinate with our contractor. And then again, that's only 2 to 4 hours. So, they have to say a street is 3 blocks long. It's just going to be, first come, first serve. Like if this person schedules on Monday, but then 2 streets up from two houses up from them, they didn't schedule right away, they're probably going to be Wednesday. So they kind of jump around a little bit on the service line, but it's not as noisy as the main line replacement. That's a lot quieter.
Okay.
Yes.
City Administrator.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate Katie mentioning that people can contact her. Certainly, if any council members do receive questions, feel free to filter those through my office. I can get in touch with Columbia Gas, and the same goes for residents. Typically, when we have projects like this, people will contact myself, sometimes the city engineer. We're happy to make those contacts, or sometimes we can even answer those questions for the resident ahead of time before we get it out to their service specialist. But feel free to filter those through my office.
Yeah, always happy to help wherever I can. And if I don't know the answer, I know somebody who does. So I can always make sure that, the customer and the resident's always heard. Sometimes I may not be able to fix it right away, but as long as they allow me patience and time, I'm more than happy to help them with whatever they need.
You raised the bar on the handouts, so the other utility companies,
Tom,
they gotta.
Like one of the engineers in Middleburg, I could not figure out this huge printer. He deals with the printing all the time as a senior engineer. So thank you, Tom, for that, because I could not figure it out for the life of me.
You're the new standard. I'm going to compare all the other companies to you.
Yes, there's extras over here. There's extra information mailers and customer letters over here. So you take these back. The pro drawing, that is not for the public, and so just please keep this for your offices, just because plans can change, we have to do this has to change here, we have to do this tie-in 4 feet, so we don't want to commit anything to the public, because just things can change, camera work can change. So this is just for council and administration purposes only. Yeah, there's another copy up here, but is there any other comments, questions, concerns about anything regarding Noble Street?
Law Director.
Sure. No, Katie, thanks for coming. I just want to give positive feedback. We kind of went through this at my house last year. We had a leak detected when they were doing a meter reading. Thankfully, it was on the outside, which is part of why we didn't smell it, but it was a small one. But anyways, the meter's on the inside, so I had to get moved to the outside. I had to get moved on the other side of the house. Our line was out in the foot of our driveway, so we ended up having that torn out. But the crew was great. I dealt with Ben. Ben was easy to talk to.
Yeah.
But they did a great job. They had to come in, move the meter. The crew was very polite and clean, and speedy and all that, but they did a great job. So.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I do these every once in a while. I don't always do them in person just because, with everything being virtual now, people prefer that. So I really thank you all for welcoming me in, and I'm just so grateful to be here. So thank you. And again, if you have any other questions, you can call, text, email me at any time. I will do my best to answer when I can. But yeah, other than that, without anything else, then I was like, if you need anything else from me, then otherwise I'm heading back. Yeah.
I do have one more question, only because
Yes.
I'm not quite as tech savvy as some of the other people. But you said something about a group text for notifications of changes in the project. Is this the number that you would
Yes,
use?
that is my work cell number. So like I said, I don't often get a lot of people for the group text. I did have one person who when they got the mailer today, they did text me, and I do appreciate them. I typically so I'm doing 30 other projects across Northern Ohio right now. I don't typically see a lot of people who have this interest, but the city of Tiffin is interested. By all means, you can text me. I will text them back in a manner that I'm able to. But yes, it is me. I am not an automated chatbot. Some people do think I am. I am not. I am flesh and blood right here. So I just ask, just please be nice. Just please be nice. I am a real person. I'm answering as quickly as I can. And so it'll basically be very similar to the emails that I send out. So I'll just be like, we're starting on Main Street, and then service crews are starting on Washington Street, or whatever. And so it'll be very similar. So if you are if you have a good email that we pulled from our customer list, and it's a working email, you'll be getting emails there. And if you do want to sign up just because you check your phone more than your email, that's totally fine. That's all right. I've only with other projects, I've only texted people individually just because there's not a huge need for a group chat. But if it was big enough, I would put out a group chat of some kind. Just not had that kind of level of number of people yet. So I'm just like, if you want to make it, if the city of Tiffin wants to make it, go for it. It's my job. Yes. All right. Other than that, thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Clerk of Council Ann Forrest.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Director of Finance Jill Lindhorst.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a request for legislation F26-05 to amend the 2026 Budget Ordinance 25-98. This is to appropriate $56,600 to the general fund, $1,100 to the Muni Court Probation Services, and $5,100 to the Sewer WPCC Fund. This is for medical and dental and vision insurance increases. We had one department that ran a little short this last month. So we reviewed everyone's line items in the budget just to make sure we had enough. So that's why it's across many departments. We just want to ensure we're able to pay those bills every month throughout the year. So it's really more of a proactive adjustment that we're doing. The one that we had to increase, that was the police department. That was due to open enrollment changes for 2 of our staff members. So it increased quite a bit. They went from no insurance to a family plan. So it did increase quite a bit. So while looking at that, we looked at all the departments and wanted to make those changes to be proactive. The next part of the request is for $2,000 to appropriate $2,000 to the Parks and Recreation Department for a grant received from NOPEC. And then also a $38,029.76 to capital improvements for a grant received by the Tiffin Community Foundation for the pump track. I also have the January 31st, 2026 Director of Finance report. The total receipts for the month is $5,224,322.12. Total expenses for the month, $207,109.68. The general fund unencumbered balance, $4,617,786.66. The income tax receipts for January 2026 were $1,007,828.43. The total decrease in income tax collections for January 2026 compared to January 2025 is $128,517.39. Year-to-date income tax receipts are down 11.31%. The quarter portion of the income tax receipts that was transferred into Fund 215 for public streets for January 2026 is $110,503.72. The portion of income tax receipts that was transferred into Fund 331 for capital improvements for January 2026 is $89,732.47. The unexpended balance for all funds is $41,648,251.91, which is the same as the bank balances for the same time period. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to accept the Finance Director's report and bank reconciliation for month ending January 2026.
Thank you. There's a motion to accept the finances report for the month of January 2026. Is there a second? Councilmember Jones.
I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Up next, Director of Law, Zachary Fowler.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Do have a report for council. Just want to let you know the codified ordinances. I've been in contact with the publisher to get another update. So this is the second half of 2025. So worked through the draft with them. That looks like it's good to go. So I will have an ordinance for that to pass that and then add in some of the state law changes. I will just need someone who's willing to introduce that legislation. So if I have any, Councilmember Reesner, thank you. So I'll have that for you for next meeting. And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you. We are now under written communications.
Thank you. We have Mayor's request for legislation number 2609, appointments to various boards and commissions.
Mayor's request for legislation number 2609 will be assigned to the Personnel and Labor Relations Committee.
Mayor's request for legislation number 26-11, reappointment to the Tree Commission.
Mayor's request for legislation number 26-11 will also be assigned to the Personnel and Labor Relations Committee.
And Finance Director's request for legislation number F2605 to amend the 2026 Budget Ordinance 2025-98 to reallocate funds in the general fund.
Finance Director's request for legislation number F26-05 is prepared tonight as ordinance 2026-17.
And then we have a letter from Jack Bohr resigning from the Civil Service Commission.
This letter will be held on file.
That concludes the written communications.
Thank you. We are now under oral communications. Anyone wishing to address council may step up to the podium, sign in, and direct their questions to myself. Okay, seeing none, we are now under motions. Are there any motions this evening? Okay, seeing none, we are now under resolutions and ordinances.
Resolution number 2026-4, introduced by John Hayes, a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, WPCLF, agreement on behalf of the city of Tiffin for the construction of wastewater facilities involving the Interceptor Upgrade Project, designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
This is the third reading of Resolution 2026-4. Councilmember Reesner.
I move for passage of Resolution 2026-4.
Okay, there's a motion for passage of Resolution 2026-4. Is there a second? Councilmember Snee?
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mayor?
Yeah, I just want to ask the law director if this is one of our resolutions that declares an emergency to be passed as written. So what is the best course of action since we have, oh, Mr. Horniman's here. I did not realize Mr. Horniman came in
Sneaky.
under the wire. Okay, so strike all of that now that we have Mr. Horniman here. So
Shake it off.
thank you. Thank you.
Great. Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll on the emergency.
Councilmember Herniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Okay, the emergency passes the vote of 5-0. I will now ask the clerk to call the roll on the vote.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Okay, resolution 2026-4 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Resolution number 2026-5, introduced by John Hayes, a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund, WPCLF agreement on behalf of the city of Tiffin for the construction of wastewater facilities involving the high-rate treatment project, designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan, and declaring an emergency.
This is the third reading of resolution 2026-5. Councilmember Snee?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to passage of resolution 2026-5.
Okay, there's a motion for passage of resolution 2026-5. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner?
I'll second, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will first vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Resolution 2026-5 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Resolution number 2026-6, introduced by John Hayes, a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund, WPCLF agreement, on behalf of the city of Tiffin for the construction of wastewater facilities involving the 2026 sewer replacement project, designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
This is the third reading of resolution 2026-6. Councilmember Reesner?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of Resolution 2026-6.
Okay, there's a motion for passage of resolution 2026-6. Is there a second? Councilmember Snee?
Yes, I'd like to make a second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will first vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes, the emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Resolution 2026-6 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Resolution number 2026-7, introduced by John Hayes, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2026.
This is the third reading of resolution 2026-7. Councilmember Reesner?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of Resolution 2026-7.
There's a motion for passage of resolution 2026-7. Is there a second? Councilmember Horniman?
I'll second that motion,
There's a
Mr.
motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Resolution 2026-7 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-5, introduced by Ashley Decker, an ordinance amending section 5.06A of the codified ordinances to include Juneteenth as a paid holiday.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. I believe we,
Did I miss one?
Yeah, should we, 26, 28?
we go back.
Oh, the last resolution.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll go back. Resolution 2026-28, a resolution consenting to the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, to perform and complete a project to resurface a portion of 2000 US Route 224 in Seneca County, PID number 107952, county/route/section SEN US 224 0.00, resurfacing and declaring an emergency.
This is the first reading of Resolution 2026-28. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for immediate passage of Resolution 2026-28, suspending city council's reading rule.
There's a motion for immediate passage of Resolution 2026-28, suspending council's 3 reading rule. Is there a second? Councilmember Jones.
I second that motion, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Horniman.
This project is fully funded by the U.S. Department of Transportation and such and everything like that. This is, covered by them, and this is just something that we're giving them approval to be on city property and do the paving in that area. They're already going to be paving portions of 224, and this comes up to like U.S. Route 18 and that intersection and such.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any more discussion? Councilmember Reesner.
And just to add on, there's a time sensitivity for filing the applications and all that with the state, so that's why this is being moved ahead.
Thank you. Councilmember Snai.
Thank you, Mr. President. And then also, we have an emergency on this, make certain that mentioned. So.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, we'll first ask the clerk to call the roll on the suspension.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes, the suspension passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes, the emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
And Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Resolution 2026-28 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Now ordinance 2026-5, introduced by Ashley Decker, an ordinance amending section 165.06A of the codified ordinances to include Juneteenth as a paid holiday.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-5. Councilmember Jones.
I move for passage of ordinance 2026-5.
There's a motion for passage of ordinance 2026-5. Is there a second? Councilmember Horniman.
I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is to add Juneteenth as a paid holiday, and just to give the public some background, this came about from kind of the union contracts at the end of last year. I forget, it was the police and the fire, they got it added, so this adds it for the rest of the city, all the employees. I was looking into it a little bit, how other cities do it, how many, this would bring us to, was it 13 holidays? And other cities are around the area, my research was around 11, 12 holidays. This actually puts us up higher than the post office at this point, kind of close to the federal. Good holiday. But I just wanted to research it to make sure we were being fiscally responsible and being in line. I think it's warranted, though, for our city. We have a good group of employees, and when they're good and they're efficient, this is what happens. You get more benefits. So I'm going to support it.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-5 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-6, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city administrator to prepare plans and specifications, advertise for and receive bids, recommend and execute a contract for the construction of the Interceptor Upgrade Project, and declaring an emergency.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-6. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of ordinance 2026-6.
Is a motion for passage of ordinance 2026-6. Is there a second? Councilmember Horniman.
I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will first vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. The emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-6 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-7, introduced by John Hayes, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city administrator to prepare plans and specifications, advertise for and receive bids, recommend and execute a contract for the construction of the high-rate treatment facility, and declaring an emergency.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-7. Councilmember Snee.
Yes, move for passage of ordinance 2026-7.
Okay, there's a motion for passage of ordinance 2026-7. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner.
I'll second, Mr. President.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Jones.
Just the previous ordinance, this one and the next one, all are concerning the sewer treatment facility for the public's knowledge. It's just to get us up to code with the EPA.
Okay, Councilmember Horniman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The high-rate treatment facility is actually, in the long run with the sewer work, is a money saver to having that treatment facility on the north end and everything, rather than running pipe all the way back from the north end all the way to the wastewater treatment plant over by the middle school and such and everything. It's actually a cost saver in the long run, and it's a good project, and it's a very good compromise to lessen the blow of this whole EPA mandated sewer work and such.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will first vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. The emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-7 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-8, introduced by John Hayes, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city administrator to prepare plans and specifications, advertise for and receive bids, recommend and execute a contract for the construction of the 2026 sewer replacement project.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-8. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of ordinance 2026-8.
There's a motion for passage of ordinance 2026-8. Is there a second? Councilmember Jones.
I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee. And
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-8 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-9, introduced by John Hayes, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city administrator to solicit qualifications from and enter into a contract with a professional design firm for professional design services and construction administration services for repairs to the city's Sandusky River Wall.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-9. Councilmember Snee.
Yes, I move for passage of ordinance 2026-9.
Okay, there's a motion for passage of ordinance 2026-9. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner.
I'll second, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Horniman.
Yeah, this specific ordinance is, it's a section of the river wall for repair that is actually more accessible now due to a building fire that we haven't been able to get to. There was an assessment done on the entire river wall, and actually the news that was reported from the city administrator in that report was the river wall is in much better shape than we had anticipated. It's not a very large section and everything. That is the repairs that are going to be done.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, we will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-9 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-10, introduced by John Hayes, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept easements from Heidelberg University for a sanitary sewer and the public use of sidewalks east of the extension of Walker Street, south of Main Street, and west of Rock Creek.
This is the third reading of ordinance 2026-10. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of ordinance 2026-10.
There's a motion to pass ordinance 2026-10. Is there a second? Councilmember Horniman.
I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Law Director.
Just so that you're all aware, I have at least a draft of those easements ready. But along the lines of this, there will be the street dedication for that extension of Walker Street. I'm just waiting on the plat. It's been approved by a planning commission. We're just waiting on Heidelberg to get that recorded. Once the plat's recorded, I'll have an ordinance for probably you, Mr. President, as Chair of Streets Committee, to introduce to accept then that dedication of Walker Street. So just so you're aware, that'll be forthcoming, maybe next meeting or the meeting after.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-10 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-13, introduced by Ashley Decker, an ordinance amending section 165.06 of the codified ordinances to enact subdivision D to provide holiday pay for all full-time employees of the city, except those included in collective bargaining agreements.
This is the second reading for ordinance 2026-13.
Ordinance number 2026-15, introduced by Scott Horniman, an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to apply to and receive from the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, the 2026 Energized Community Grant and declaring an emergency.
This is the first reading of ordinance 2026-15.
Ordinance number 2026-16, introduced by Scott Horniman, an ordinance expanding the boundaries of Community Reinvestment Area Number 4, originally established in Resolution 92-30, and declaring an emergency.
This is the first reading of ordinance 2026-16. Councilmember Horniman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for immediate passage of ordinance 2026-16, suspending City Council's three-reading rule and declaring an emergency.
There's a motion of immediate passage of ordinance 2026-16, suspending council's three-reading rule. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner.
I'll second, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Horniman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, this expands the boundaries of the Community Reinvestment Area Number 4, that's on the north end of town, to give tax abatements and incentives to possible development that will happen on that area.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Law Director.
Sure, just to help you out, I don't think everyone was at the committee meeting, but you'll see the map in your packet there at the end. The orientation for north is kind of to your left there, but the existing part of CRA number 4 is just a little bit south of Tiber Road, then running up north up 53. So this is North Star Industrial Park. It does technically go over to the river, so it would cover the city's Shekelhoff Park. But the proposed expansion, with your approval, will then extend that down south, down to Huss Street. So that's just that area. That's the additional area. And then the list of parcel numbers there, that's I got from the county auditor's office. Their GIS person does a great job of extracting those numbers and getting those to us. So that's just helpful for county auditor when there is an application. So this would expand that, just so that you're aware. What's also in there is that once it's passed, we'll send a certified copy, the city administrator will, to the state so that they can then update it on their end. There's also a publication requirement, which is after it's passed, that the clerk's aware of, that we'll take care of. So there's no roadblocks to suspension tonight. There's just a few things that we'll do after the fact.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, I will first ask the clerk to call the roll on the suspension.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. The suspension passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. The emergency passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-16 passes with a vote of 5-0.
Ordinance number 2026-17, introduced by Kevin Reesner. An ordinance amending the 2026 budget ordinance 2025-98 to appropriate funds into the general fund, municipal court probation services fund, sewer fund, park and recreation fund, and capital fund.
This is the first reading of ordinance 2026-17. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for immediate passage of ordinance 2026-17, suspending city council's reading rule.
There's a motion to suspend city council's 3 reading rule and immediately pass ordinance 2026-17. Is there a second? Councilmember Jones.
I second that motion, Mr. President.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Reesner.
And just to recap what the finance director noted earlier, this is to appropriate funds, $62,800 to the general fund, municipal court probation service fund, sewer WPCC fund for the health, dental, vision insurance. It's because of a shortfall in the police clerk's budget line 101.221 5200 of $48,000. The shortfall resulted from changes in insurance for 2 staff members at the beginning of 2026. And there's just some slight adjustments there to cover the monthly invoices through 2026.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will first vote on the suspension.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Suspension passes with a vote of 5-0. We will now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Horniman.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
And Hayes.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-17 passes with a vote of 5-0.
That concludes the legislation.
Thank you. We are now under other business. Excuse me. Any other business this evening? Law Director.
I was just going to ask about the request for legislations, the number 9 and 11.
Correct. There are 2 pieces of legislation going to the Personnel and Labor Relations Committee meeting. I did hear from Councilmember Decker that next Monday is free for her. I will have her confirm that with Clerk of Courts and Forest, and we will, Clerk of Council, sorry. And we will have that posted if that time is available for everyone and if it still works for her. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Any other business this evening? Councilmember Reesner.
Just out in Ward 3, I just wanted to, I don't know if I could do a PSA here for Alan Irie, Senior Center. They've got a consumer education presentation coming up. It's open to the public, free to attend. Let's see when this is. It is March 18th at 10 a.m. So got to call ahead, reserve your spot, but people might find that interesting.
Very good. Thank you for that. Any other business? City Administrator.
Yes, thank you. If I could just add, Mayor had very nicely explained the sewer work that we have coming up in the next few weeks here. Just as a reminder to folks that city offices and other government offices, and most especially those businesses along Market Street, will remain open, or at least I expect that a lot of those will remain open. City Hall will be open at that time, as will the court. Please feel free to go to those establishments. The sidewalks will be open. Pedestrian access is open for all those. Obviously, with the streets closed during that time period, with the on-street parking, it's going to make those couple of weeks a little bit difficult for those businesses and for people to get to City Hall. Certainly for people who have sewer bills to pay or taxes to file. I know we're at tax filing time. Feel free to use the website. The drop box in front of City Hall will remain open. You can walk your items into there or bring it to the office. Like I said, the sidewalks will remain open, so if not, you can always come visit us the week after. But again, do keep in mind those businesses that are going to be along the corridors there that will need your support during that time.
Thank you. Councilmember Snee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Question for you, Nick, City Administrator. When they do that work, what about the lines? I mean, is there is there an alternate route? Everything happens on that line, when people use, things. I mean, it's a sewer line. So is there like an alternate route? I mean, what happens? I mean.
Sure, you're getting a little bit into technical that I can't necessarily explain.
If it's a week or 2 weeks, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be doing work there, in that time period. That's a great question. Probably something that that could be addressed with the engineer or public works department if they have those answers. But the fact is, we do this work pretty regularly. There are issues that do occur with that, but the work that's being done, it won't be a major disruption. And luckily, we're talking sewer work here. We're not talking water, so it's not going to necessarily.
Okay.
You're not going to lose your water service necessarily.
Yeah, because I didn't know if any of our constituents watching, they would to know that they might have that question. So
Yeah. The hope is we shouldn't see a lot of issues, but there's we certainly will keep people informed, and if issues arise, we'll deal with them as they come.
all right.
That's your homework, Councilmember Snee. Report back to us next time what the answer is.
But again, it's not like it's not supply in, so you shouldn't have hopefully major disruptions during that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Anything else? Okay, seeing none, we will adjourn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for that.